Coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of coffee here in my coffee with Gino cup. My Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca is my choice of 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. It's coffee, cream, and sugar powder form all in one. You put it in your cup with hot water and you're good to go. Good to go with a nice cup of coffee. It had increased in price. I had bought a 10-pack of this at the grocery, and it's now like 85 pesos. So it's gone up from like, it used to be like 70, 75, now it's 85. So about 8 pesos for a cup of coffee. About $1.50 for 10 cups of coffee. And I also have the French vanilla. I get this at SNR's, or I get this little coffee mate imported from, let me see where they make this thing. North America, Ohio. They make it from Ohio, man. So I have that French vanilla. It gives it a little nice taste to my coffee, my Copico Blanca. Manila Gorilla. All right, Manila Gorilla. Good morning, Mr. Gino. All right, thank you, my friend. Thank you for joining the live stream. I just dropped off Leanna at school. It's Monday. She's got flag ceremony on Monday. Busy day for Leanna on Mondays because Monday she has cleaners also. So she has to, before the start of classes, they got to clean the classroom, the blackboard, sweep. Right outside their classroom, they're responsible for that area for any trash or anything. And then flag ceremony. They have flag ceremony here every Monday. School uniform, not required, not required to, but majority of the kids wear their uniforms here, like Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday. Wednesday being the wash day, where you can wear civilian clothes instead of the uniform. But they have flag ceremony. They have the national anthem of the Philippines. They have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the Philippines. They play the Aklan. Aklan has a hymn, like an Aklan song. And then they have a Numancia song. And then they also have a school, like a fighting song, like Numancia Integrated School. Then after those songs, they actually have like about 10-15 minutes where they do stretching, and they'll make them do jumping jacks, a little bit of exercise before they start their day. And then when they get to their classroom, every day here to start their class, they pray. They pray here. That's common in public schools here in the Philippines. To start the day, all the kids have to pray. I mean, if you're not practicing the religion that they're praying, you don't have to pray. You can just stand there, but it's customary here for schools to start with a prayer. Also, it's customary to end the school with a prayer also. I like it. I like that they have that, Pledge of Allegiance prayer. It can't hurt. It can't hurt, that they have that at Leanna's school. Good morning, Bill Meyer. Good morning. Glad you enjoyed the live stream this morning, my friend. Appreciate you. Hey, Peanut Butter Travels here. All right, thank you, Peanut Butter Travels. This is kind of like my normal time, Monday to Friday, after I drop off Leanna. This is usually where that time I slot as far as like starting my live stream. It was just that for like a week, Leanna had a semester break, so she didn't have school. And then for a week and a half, she didn't have school because back-to-back typhoons, when we had 2 typhoons, for like 7 school days, they didn't have any school for like a week and a half. That's about $8 USD here. All right, man. I know because I know a lot of products now from the Philippines. A friend of mine had told me this that lives in California. Filipinos, when they live in California, Southern California, Northern California, they miss the Filipino stuff. It's the opposite. Like for us here, we go to SNR and buy like American goods. My friends that are in California, in Northern California, it's opposite. They're they miss the stuff that's here in the Philippines. So they buy their bagoong, the fermented shrimp, the like ketchup, banana ketchup. They'll buy banana ketchup. They'll buy mang tomas, the sauce for like lechon or pork, anything baked pork. It's like a good sauce. So they miss it, and it's the same dynamic. When products come to the Philippines got to import duty tax on it, 17%. Well, now it's the same going to the U.S. Philippine products got a 19% duty tax in the U.S. So people have noticed. People have told me, man, the prices of like Philippine goods coming here to the U.S. has increased in price. But you gotta have it. It's kind of like my coffee made French vanilla. It's like I get this like a 50 pack of this little packet. So I'm almost running out now. Actually, I think I have about 15 left. But I'm sure next time I go, I just wanted to try it. I've never actually tried this little packets. I usually get the big containers in the U.S. But now that I like it, the next time I go to SNR, I'm gonna buy a couple of boxes of it. Make sure I store up stuff. Michael Manalastas, top of the morning to you, Master Sergeant. Thank you so much, Michael. Yes, I'm a retired Master Sergeant from the United States Air Force. Had to work for that now. Master Sergeant in the United States Air Force, it's not given. Maybe now it's easier. I heard that the rank in the military now is easier to get because not many stay. A lot of times people just do their 4 years and then get out of the military. Fewer people are making the military a career, and because I know it's difficult. Military career is difficult, and I served 20 years active duty, and during my era, to make it to Master Sergeant E7, I'm considered a senior NCO. If you had 20 years, that's pretty good. You made rank pretty good if you can retire at 20 years as a E7 Master Sergeant. I'm proud of that because I retired in 2003. My retirement was in November 2003. I've been retired now for 22 years, retired here. And I've been collecting the military pension for the 22 years. It's like amazing, really, when you think about it, that for anybody, like for me, when I start collecting Social Security, right? I'll early Social Security, I'll sign up at 62. I'll be happy if I collect 22 years of Social Security. That would mean I would be like 84. It's like I'll be like ecstatic if I can make it to 22 years collecting Social Security. Peanut Butter Travels. It's Sunday here. Just got off work. Still the rat race. All right, Peanut Butter Travels. I know how that is. I get many communication from people that's still in the rat race. People are telling me that the input I get from people is getting harder just because the dynamic of wages seems to be not increasing the wages, and then just the whole dynamic of the work environment. That's why my best friend in Hawaii, he took that early thing with the federal government. He was just like, they offered him like last April, so he just took the early retirement because he said it's just too much. He couldn't handle he wasn't enjoying anymore like the office environment, the meetings, and people just like it wasn't fun for him. So he finally decided he's retired United States Air Force too, but he's been working for the federal government after he retired, so he decided to hang it up too. So now he's just fully retired now. He does do part-time, like he teaches online. He's got a couple of master's degree. I think he's got a doctorate degree too, because he used up that GI Bill. He went to school a lot during his military career. Sula, have you ever tried matcha with oat milk? I have tried oat milk. They do have oat milk here. And I think I have tried, milk tea here is popular, and oat milk, those boba, those tapioca pearls. There's a lot of that here. So I'm sure, and I've tried matcha. Liana, that's one of her favorites, is matcha. So I'm pretty sure I've tried it. And the cafes here, even in Calibo, our town of Calibo here, they're getting fancy with all the coffee, with all the, you almost feel like when you go to a cafe here now in Calibo, you almost feel like you're like going to like a Starbucks, but not paying the Starbucks prices is what I like, because you can still get most of the drinks, most of the barista coffee, you can get for like 120 pesos, $2.25. And then the milk tea is about the same, about $2.25 for the milk tea. And I just got a comment from a friend of mine because I had posted a picture, Dazzle and I, on my Facebook. Dazzle and I, we went to Boracay Island. We went to Starbucks Boracay, and I had a tall venti lemonade. And the lemonade actually had a flavor too, because they had slices of strawberries in it, mangoes in it. They put fruit, to infuse flavor on your lemonade. And I was just showing it. I just took a picture, with Daz and I would take pictures on Facebook. And my friend, so did it cost you an arm and a leg for your because you know how Starbucks is. They're known to like overprice their items in the US. And I told her, it's like, for me, it's, it's a luxury. It's when we go to Boracay, it's like it's a treat for Daz and I. We don't get to go to Boracay all the time, or Starbucks all the time. We do not have on the mainland side of Aklan. There's no Starbucks. The only Starbucks I would see here in Panay Island would be in Rojas City at SM Mall. I know they have in Rojas, and then Iloilo has Iloilo City's got Starbucks. But in mainland Aklan, we do not have a Starbucks. There was a Starbucks inside the airport in Boracay Airport when I flew out. Maybe 3 years ago, I flew out of there, but I haven't flown out at Boracay Airport, so I don't know if they're still open, that Starbucks is still open. And then you can't really go into the Starbucks at the airport unless you have a ticket, unless you're flying in, because you got to go through like the security and all that, check your ticket, check your, to get to that Starbucks. It's inside the airport. Maybe someone that traveled, maybe you can let me know if that Starbucks is still open. The lady at the cafe made me a little one today, and it's quite nice, but I prefer real coffee black. Yeah, like I said, Sula, like I said, Sula, man, you can get very nice drinks here. Even like the coffee beans, you can select your coffee beans. You can select oat milk, soy milk, non-fat, whatever. If you're vegan, if you're what is that if your stomach can't handle milk, they got all that stuff now here, which is surprising. I mean, we live in the province. I'm sure they've had those stuff in the city, but in the province, for me, it's like, even in Calibo, when I go to Calibo, I'm just impressed about like the develop, because I've been around Calibo now for 14 years. So, I've seen the growth. It won't be long till Calibo, I'm sure, probably next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a city. Because it's building. They're building buildings, condos are on the way here. So just a matter of time till Calibo itself will become a city. Brian, good morning, Brian, my good friend in Galveston County, Texas. All right, good to see you, Brian. Appreciate you joining the live stream. JP, good morning, Master Sergeant Gino. Hey, JP, I did ask Stevie about the jig. You asked about the squid jig. He did brought it with him. I mean, I didn't realize Stevie was that prepared. I guess Stevie really, thought about, he's got lures, he's got squid jig. I've never even heard about a squid jig, I'm sure you can find some here, because they catch squid here, in Aklan province. So, but he brought his own. Stevie was telling me he was really well prepared. And then yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he was supposed to go on a bangka, go ocean fishing, but he decided not to because the waves were like strong yesterday. He's going to wait for a calmer day. And probably today is a calmer day because it's like bright and sunny today. No rain, nothing but blue skies this morning. I actually have the fan facing me here because I can feel the heat already. It's gonna be a warm day today. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. That way you guys can see. Hopefully I don't lose the internet. You know, it's like our internet's been acting up. We have Calibo cable is our internet. It's a fiber optic, but for some reason, there's times of the day, times of the year that it fails. It fails. Our internet fails. I'm gonna stay near the door here. I'm not gonna walk around. But look at that bright sun today. I mean, it's gonna be. I can tell it's gonna be a hot day today. It's gonna be in the 90s today for sure because it's only 7:28, and I'm feeling it's at least like 84, 85 degrees already. I'm just glad there's a little bit of breeze. You can see there's a little bit of breeze right there. I saw my Kuya Rex earlier. He was like polishing his motorbike. He's got a nice new Kuya Rex is always like he's got the Subaru SUV there and his motorbike right there. He was like polishing it. It's a Honda Click. He's got a maroon color Honda Click. But bright and sunny this morning. Nothing but blue skies. So no rain today. No rain today in Aklan province. Flip the camera here. Put it back here. I use my Blue Yeti to stand. I got like a selfie stick to stand it. That way I don't have to hold it. But it's like, you can tell, it's like bright. Gotta close the door. I actually have people coming in today because we bought a new air condition. We have a window type AC, 0.5, small AC in our room. And what we're gonna do today, we bought a new one. It's in the car. It's a 0.6, but it's supposed to be more energy efficient. The guy, you know, of course, the salesperson was like, I don't know if it's really true. He said, it's an inverter type window AC unit. And he said it's gonna save like 40% on electricity. So I said, hey, it was time to replace our AC because we've had that AC we have in our room for like 10 years. And it's kind of getting rusted. It's making sounds, you know, so I got to figure, man, we'll buy a new AC. So there's going to be people coming in to install it because what's weird here is like AC, you know, the window, the 0.5 or 0.6, there's no standard size. It's like, so the way we have our AC installed, they put a hole on our wall, on our cement wall. So I'm not sure if it's gonna fit. They're gonna try to fit it, but if it doesn't, they'll have to chop off some of the cement, you know, make it fit, then like cement it back in. So, but they're really good at that. They're really good at doing. They'll bring their own cement, their own. Lelong is my do it yourself, you know, repair guy. Whatever I need for him to do. I don't do that stuff. I don't do like home improvement. I always just hire. Lelong is my guy. Sula, oh no, Peanut, where are you? All right. Jesus love you. God bless. Thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. Uniforms are great for parents and affordability instead of a new outfit. Yes, right, Sula. And I think for the kids too, because here, when they're wearing uniforms, there's like a sense of pride for the kids. Like for Liana, it was a big deal for her because elementary from kindergarten to 6th grade at her school, they wore a certain type uniform. And then when you reach high school, 7th grade, there's a little tie and a little belt that, you know, it's a different uniform. So, you know, it was a big deal for her that she's now high school. You saved my life, man. All right, I'm glad I did. You know, if I did some way, France, bless you. All right, thank you, France. Appreciate that. I don't get many viewers from France, so thank you for joining the live stream. Morning, bro. Michael C, my good friend in Trece Martires in Cavite. Sula, pray here at the start and end of the day in school too. To me, that's great, Sula, right? To me, prayer can't hurt. I mean, for me growing up, I went to an all boys Catholic school in Manila. All my elementary years, from kindergarten to sixth grade, I finished my elementary years in Manila. Letron College. It's a all boys Catholic school at the time back in the 70s. And for me, it was a good foundation. I'm glad my mom decided to send me there because it gave me a good foundation for the rest of my life. It taught me to be honest. It taught me, to do the right thing. It's like to follow rules. I think that's why I ended up in the military, because of my upbringing in the all boys Catholic school. JP, all right. Malina G. Sula, PBT, the official Thug Santa. Oh, Thug Santa. Hello, the official Thug. Don't see that in the States anymore. Praying and pledging to the flag. I've heard that, and to me that's kind of unfortunate, I think. It's like, that you've gotten to the point where you can't pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. To me, that's like, why? What was the reason for that? It's like that's not freedom, that you're not paying respect to the flag of the United States. I don't, but I don't get political, so I don't get, to me, it's just unfortunate. Sula, hi JP, how are you? JP is happy. JP is happy. He stopped working, and next month he will be in Calibo. I will be picking up JP at the Katiklan Airport, and he's gonna join us here in Aklan Province. He's gonna try Aklan Province. I'm gonna do all I can to make it a soft landing for JP. So he can adjust to life here in the Philippines, and then from there, it's up to him. If he decides to stay here in Calibo, in Aklan Province, if he wants to go to Boracay, if he wants to move somewhere else, I just want him to have a nice soft landing here, get a good introduction to the Philippines, at least guide him, explain to him how things work here, and then hopefully that will help in making him enjoy his stay here and enjoy his retirement here in the Philippines. Hi, John. Hope you're doing well. All right. Hey, Charlie Letts, my good friend in Boston. Good morning, Charlie Letts. DK, Sula. All right, Brian, have a great day. All right, Brian. Shaka, have a great day, Brian. What is the exchange rate today? All right, I haven't checked. I don't get in the habit of checking the exchange rate, but I know, like I said before, anything like over 55 for me is a good exchange rate, but let me double check real quick here. Dollar to PHP, 59.02 is the exchange rate right now. That's pretty high. And according to my good friend Fortune, he is a banker here in Manila. He works in a bank, financial district in Makati. So he knows banking. He knows the stock market here. He knows foreign exchange and all that. Fortune told me the Bangko Sentral of the Philippines will not let the dollar to peso exchange rate go higher than 59.5. That's they'll do measures to like lower that exchange rate when it gets to be that high. All right, I'm just making sure. All right, we're still working there. And then of course, like I was saying before, the month of December, when you come here in the month of December, there's a lot of OFWs, overseas Filipino workers coming back on vacation, a lot of balikbayan, a lot of Filipino Americans coming back to the Philippines, and tourists. December is the big tourist month for the Philippines. So there's going to be a lot of influx of dollars. People are remittance even. Money being sent from all over the world. Big remittance month because people are sending money to their families here for the Christmas holidays, for the celebration, for lechon. Go get a lechon. Go get some cases of beer. So usually in December, it drops. The peso exchange rate with the dollar, it will drop. I would not be surprised if from 59 it goes all the way down to like 56, 57. So really now at 59, I've already exchanged all the dollars that I'm holding. I'm not holding any more dollars. It's all pesos now. I had exchanged my dollars already. I try to like save dollars throughout the year, and then when it hits about 59, about usually October, November, I exchange it all and make all my money into pesos, because I get paid in dollars. My military pension, it goes to a bank in the U.S. and then I just move it to my banks here in the Philippines. Sula, I wonder, is David in transit or has arrived in the PH? Hope he has a safe journey. Safe journey, David in transit. I'm not sure which David you're talking about, Sula. David arrived in the PH. Michael Manalastas. I wish the school kids here in the U.S. still do play. I do too, man. You know, Michael. I wish they do that. I wish they had flag ceremony in the U.S. I wish they would pledge allegiance to the flag of America, because that's the country they live in. It would make sense that to teach these kids to respect their flag, and hopefully someday defend the United States in the military. But we're there. The U.S. is different times now. Different times in the U.S. now. JP Sula, I am doing great. Getting used to frugal retirement. All right, frugal retirement, JP. Take your time, man. It's not. It's nothing to be like in a hurry to get adjusted. There's gonna be a month, 6 months at least on decompress. It's a different life. Retirement is a different life. You're gonna have to find that groove where you're like, what things you enjoy doing. Is it fishing, motorbike when you get your motorbike here? Is it traveling? Do you want to see places in the Philippines, or you just want to sit on the beach all the time? You'll figure that out once you get here. Stevie right now, he's figured it out. All he's doing is he's fishing every day. Every single day since he arrived here, he's fishing. So, I don't know how long he's going to keep that up, fishing, but hey, if that was what makes Stevie happy, I'm all for it, man. That's good, JP. DK. JP, sorry to hear about your... That's funny. They ain't got no fungal inspection. That's funny, man. People sometimes on the comments... David, hello everyone. Sula, Michael, that would be nice for sure, but I'd imagine you have all religions there now. At Michael. Hi David, how are you? All right. Good morning, Gino and all our friends. All right, Colonel. Good morning, Colonel. Hope all is well in Iloilo City. I'm sure you got good weather too. I mean, amazing weather today. It's like bright and sunny, all blue skies, a little bit of breeze. It's gonna be a nice day here. Meant to say hello to you too. All right. Hello, Colonel David B. Michael Sula. Hi, Colonel. Manila Gorilla. Staying in for 22 was the smartest thing I ever did. I retired in 2004. Oh, we retired about the same time. We're retired about the same time, Manila Gorilla. I get a lot of questions here regarding their TRICARE here in the Philippines, and there is TRICARE here. I've been using TRICARE when I got sick with cancer. All my treatments here, chemotherapy, 12 of them, radiation, 33 radiation, all paid for by TRICARE. I had to pay my share. I had to pay my 25%, but to me, that was a blessing, because now I know there's really no illness. If an illness hits me again, it's I can get all my medical care here in the Philippines. And I get asked all the time about that. I'm surprised actually, the little people think that their TRICARE, they can't take it here to the Philippines, but they can. I got all kinds of videos on TRICARE on our playlist on our Dazzle TV page. Charlie, hello to you, Sula. Flyboy. Another channel that promotes Filipino food is Kuya Kurt, yeah, Kuya Kurt, I watch him. I'm not subscribed to him, but a lot of the vloggers here, they'll come through my channel. I only subscribe to mostly my friends now that are vloggers here. I help their because I can only watch so much YouTube. It's like I already do the live stream, make videos, so I can't subscribe to everybody's channel, like especially the big, like Kuya Kurt. I think he's got like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He don't need my one subscription, but I do. He was in Boracay not too long ago. He was trying out the buffets in Boracay. But he's a really good guy because like he speaks Tagalog. That's a plus. For a person to speak Tagalog. Ray in the hey, good morning, Ray. There's Ray he's Ray in the Philippines. One of the channels I support and I watch his channel, his live streams, and I keep up with Ray. Fortune, hey Fortune, good day. I'm Gino fam and the Panay Pasi. My good friend in Bacoor, Cavite. Ray in the Philippines is in Tagaytay. So if you want information regarding Tagaytay, Ray is the guy to ask. He lives in a nice condo with an amazing view in Tagaytay. Got a really good deal on his condo, man. I'm amazed how much a great deal that you got there, Ray. Good morning, Gino, J-Boy. All right. Hey, there's Lowell. Hey, Lowell, kumusta? Mabuti ako. Lowell, my good friend in Oregon. God bless, my brother. God bless. Hope you are well today. Hope you're feeling good. Hope I know you've got physical therapy and all that going. Hope all that is going well for you, brother. Good morning, Ray. How are you doing? All right, from Sula. Busy week for me, maybe all on site. Ooh, that is a busy week for you, Fortune. No work from home this week, man. All right, man. Don't worry about the live streams if you can't make the live stream, man. I know when you're in the office, you got to be more focused at work when you're on site instead of at home. At home, you can kind of like more kick back. When you're in the office, meetings, and deadlines and things like that. So hope you have a good week, though, Fortune. The real Cowboy Dan. I am. Let's show it. All right. All right. JP, hello, Master Yoda. Fortune. Yeah, the Master Yoda. The Master, we call Fortune the Master Yoda. They changed the military pension around 2018 to 40% at 20, plus TSP match. I was grandfathered in the 50%. Oh, lucky, man, that you got grandfathered in the 50%. That's how I was when I retired in 2003. We get like 50% of our last pay. The highest pay you reach in the military, you get like 50% of that the rest of your life. And then before, when I initially retired, all the medical care, even here in the Philippines, was free. They just started with that TRICARE Select Overseas, where now they charge us. There's a yearly fee for Dazzle and I, she's my dependent military. Around $400 a year is what we pay for our, I guess, membership into TRICARE. But before, I would say 5-6 years ago, we didn't even have that. There was no fee to join TRICARE here. But I understand because medical care anywhere you go is becoming more expensive. Charlie Latz, good morning, Fortune. Awesome as usual, Sula. Hope you are great. Hope you had a great day from Ray. Lowell says hello. JP says hello to Lowell. Daniel, howdy to my posse bros. Hey, Daniel. All is well. I mean, everybody, it's like on the live stream here, it's always amazing. Like, I see so many friends here on the live stream early this morning. On a Monday, I know it's Sunday in the US, but on a Monday for me here, just to start out the week here. Yes, not a bad day. It's getting colder here now. Lucky you guys with the warm air and sunshine. Yes, that's one of the reasons one of the things that people move here to the Philippines is the weather. It's like the the warm weather of the Philippines, the beaches, of course, amazing beaches here. Speaking of weather, I'm gonna do the weather report real quick before Vegas Will tells me I'm Mr. Weatherman. I don't report. I try to do the weather for Mr. Vegas Will. So 4 a.m. this morning, Intertropical Convergence Zone ITCZ. Has been the same thing for the last few days. There is no typhoon that's entering or near the Philippine area of responsibility. Hopefully, I'm hoping that Typhoon Uwan, there's mom coming down. Hopefully, Typhoon Uwan was the last, hopefully, the last for the year, because Uwan was already number 21 typhoon for the year in the Philippines, and we only average about 18 to 20 a year, so we're over that for this year. Hopefully we're done with the typhoons. Visayas, Mindanao, and Palawan, cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Not here. I don't think we're gonna. I see nothing but blue skies outside here. Cloudy skies in Cagayan, northern Luzon, Ilocos region, same thing, Aurora. The rest of central Luzon, partly cloudy with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. And Metro Manila, same thing, isolated rain showers or thunderstorms in Metro Manila. But there is no typhoon headed to the Philippines or anything like that. So that's a good sign. Hopefully, we're done with all the typhoons this year. We've had plenty. Now, 21 is enough. 21 is enough. Belus. Hey, good morning, Belus. My good friend in Leyte province. I missed the topic. I haven't said the topic yet. I'm going through the comments here, but I do have a topic. I always try to do a topic because the people, that way there's a topic to discuss, and you can add on to the, share your experience. I always take questions, it's like I try to answer them as best I can. The topic today I'm going to discuss is reasons why retirees move to the Philippines. And I got a few items here. Of course, I'm not going to cover it all. It's like, that's why if you have an idea, like why you retired here in the Philippines, let us know. Let us know on the live stream here. Good AM from Fortune saying, there's a laundry list. That's awesome though, right? Fortune, that so many people now on the live streams here that we're all becoming so friends here. Fortune for Debelus. Calibo can afford SB. JP, Daniel, it was still open. Starbucks. All right. I was trying to figure out SB, Starbucks. The acronyms, It was still open last March. Okay, thank you there, Detroit. It was still open when he was here back in March, the Starbucks at the airport. Reasons why retirees move to the Philippines. I think the number one reason why just for me, this is just me now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the number one reason why retirees move to the Philippines is the Filipina. That's the wife is either a Filipina, like been living in the United States, for many years, and the dynamic that I've been seeing, that I've been people that communicate with me, it's the foreigner with the Filipina spouse. Those are the ones that are moving back to the Philippines. It's actually the foreigner, like from England, Canada, America, New Zealand, you name it. They're the ones. The foreigner is the one wanting to move back to the Philippines because I guess different reason, cost of living, maybe they're tired of their country or whatever. But that's usually the dynamic. It's the foreigner that wants to move. The Filipina, of course, they're both retired a lot of times. She's just happy to go along with her husband, where in the Philippines seems to be the destination. One of the things that surprises me is my Filipino American friends. Like me, I'm Filipino, born and raised in the Philippines, moved to the U.S. and lived in the U.S. for over 30 years. My Filipino American friends, the thing I'm seeing is like the ones I talk to from Florida, from California, from Texas. The guys want to come back here to the Philippines, but these are Filipino Americans. They speak Tagalog and everything. They would love to retire here in the Philippines, but a lot of times it's their wife that don't. The Filipino wife do not want to come back to the Philippines. A lot of it because they got family in the U.S. They got grandkids. It's like that's one of the reasons that I hear from people. And then of course some Filipinas. If people know this, a lot of Filipinas are jealous and all that because even how you're retired already, you're in 60s, right? For a Filipino couple to move here to the Philippines, that Filipinas got to still worry about is the husband gonna slip up? He's gonna have a mistress on the side, but because that happens here. Filipinos, unfortunately, they're kind of notorious for having mistresses here. Local Filipinos and also Phil-Ams that come here to the Philippines because that's just the way it is. Mom, can you have an input? That's just the way it is. It's like very common for Filipinos to have mistresses and girlfriends on the side. I think it's just the culture. I think that's the culture here in the Philippines so the Filipina that's in the US, it's like they still worry about that. That's one of the things they worry about when they move back here. A Filipino American couple, when they move back here into the Philippines, is their husband gonna have the stray eye? Gonna have the stray eye. And then a lot of times, what I've also seen is the Filipinas that go to the US, they get Americanized. They like the freedom. They like the freedom in America where they can drive their car. They can go shopping by themselves. Here in the Philippines, that's going to be a tricky dynamic, because if the Filipina hasn't been here in the Philippines for many years and she moves back here in a city, because in the city here, the Filipina might not be comfortable driving with the traffic, parking, be worried about the surroundings. I just noticed that. To me, that I find it interesting, just because, for me, my biggest thing is like when I was in the U.S., I've always wanted to go back to the Philippines. I've always wanted to retire here and live in the Philippines because to me, this is home. Philippines will always be home for me. I was born and raised here. When people used to ask me in the United States, where are you from? From the time I joined the military, my 20 years in the military, if somebody asked me, where are you from? My answer was always the Philippines. I never answered, I'm from California or I'm from Texas because my mom, my sister live in Texas. I've always said I'm Filipino. And I think people in the U.S. always viewed me as Filipino. I look Filipino. It's like I speak Tagalog, so. And then, another reason retirees move here into the Philippines is the single people, the single men. It's like it's an opportunity here to meet a lifetime partner, a girlfriend, or a wife even, if it goes to that. There's just a lot of opportunities here to meet a Filipina. I know there's always a debate with, people always debate about Thailand. I'd rather go to Thailand, Vietnam, all these places instead of the Philippines. And there's always a debate for that. But I think the common thing that, Vietnam or Thailand might have the better infrastructure. It might be cheaper. But I don't see many foreigners, Americans particularly, married to Vietnamese or married to Thailand people. Most Americans that I know are married to Filipina. Even when I was in the U.S., when you see some that are married to for women from Thailand, but not the amount of Filipinas in the U.S. I think Filipinas always had the reputation for being a good spouse, being a good wife. Like a care. The caring or the loving of the Filipina always shows. It's like the ones that are blessed, like me. I'm always blessed. I'm so grateful that I met Dazzle. I know James. He feels the same way with Karen. From James and Karen's adventure. I know it doesn't always happen like that. It's like I'm not trying to sell. Like the Filipina here that you're gonna get that relationship here. It takes work. It takes work. My friend Belus in Leyte, it's like I can tell how much he loves his wife. How Scuba Steve, my friends are here. Michael White, you look at Michael White. we thrive here in the Philippines because we found a good spouse. We got a good life partner. And I've mentioned that before. You know, your biggest decision in the Philippines is the Filipina that you're going to meet here. I mean, you're not obligated to marry the Filipina. I know many expats here. I know many foreigners here. They just like have a girlfriend. You have a girlfriend for 5, 10 years, but the same girlfriend, you know. But that's going to be your biggest decision here. That will make or break your retirement here. Meeting the right Filipina, the Filipina's family, if they like embrace you as their own, if they don't take advantage of you, that's why. You know, your Filipina has a lot to do with that, because she's the one that's gonna like, you know, say no to her family. She's gonna be the one that's gonna say, no, you can't do that to him. I love him. You can't like take advantage of him. That's why so important to meet the right Filipina here. And then another reason that retirees move to the Philippines is the budget. You know, I know you know people always argue. You know, Philippines is not that cheap. You know, terrible food. It's not. You know, but the bottom line is you can live well here on your Social Security. If your Social Security, the average Social Security is $1,700 or $1,800. It's the average Social Security right now. In the United States, with that average Social Security, it'll be difficult to live well. You know, you're gonna be barely surviving on that money, depending where you are. I mean, people say, well, you can live in Mississippi, you can live in like the states in the United States where they have cheap living, and you can probably do it. You can probably live in a mobile home, in an RV or something, you know. But if you're gonna live like in Los Angeles and anywhere in California, even Texas now is getting, even Arizona, when I was Arizona, Nevada, $1,700 or $1,800, you're gonna struggle. You're not gonna have a comfortable life. We're here in the Philippines. If you have $1,700 or $1,800, if you do your research here, you can find areas here in the Philippines where you would live well. You would live near the beach. You will be able, you know, there's going to be an airport. There's going to be a mall. You know, people say, well, you know, if you want to live in BGC, you can't. Not on $1,700, but here in Panay Island, if you have $1,700, I know you can live here in Calibo. I know you can live at Rojas City, where Michael is, that Philippines life. I know you can live in Rojas City with and live good. You know, live by the ocean, eat a lot of fresh seafood. You know, it can be done, but you got to do your research. And then a lot of times, you know, you really have to land here and see it for yourself. Like Michael White, the thriving expat, he does videos in Masbate Island. You know, he lives on a good budget. He's helping people in this area there. He does a lot of good for the community. But you got to be boots on the ground. You got to visit Masbate Island. You know, you have to go there and check it out for yourself. You can watch all the Calibo videos, all the Panay Island videos that I make. But until you get here, you won't really know. But I can guarantee you, if you're single and you got $1,700 or $1,800 a month, you will live well. You will live comfortable here in our province of Aklan. You will be able to travel. You can even travel to Thailand. You can travel outside the country. You can travel the Philippines. My friend Ruben, he's on Social Security. That's all. His main pension is Social Security, and he's got a studio apartment. 8,000 pesos is his studio apartment in Calibo. He just uses it at his home base. He doesn't live there full time. It's just kind of like his jumping point. He goes to Angeles City. He goes to Dumaguete City. He goes to Iloilo. He travels, you know. So he's getting ready to go to San Diego, California, and then he'll be back here again. I think end of January or February. But he's made Calibo as his home base. He's renting that apartment throughout the year. He's already talked to the landlord. They're saying like, you know, he's actually thinking of getting the room beside him because he wants to have 2 rooms and put a door in it. That way he can entertain guests. But you can find a good life here. That's why a lot of people retire here. A lot of retirees come here because of budget. You know, and like I said, I've mentioned this before. As far as the budget, you know, if you got money in the U.S. and I know there's people that got money. I got friends in the U.S. My friend in Hawaii, my best friend in Hawaii, he's retired in Hawaii in Mililani. He's got $1 million home. He can afford it there. To me, that is still the best place for you to retire. If you can afford retirement in the U.S., why would you trade that for the Philippines? To me, that doesn't make any sense. I'm retired here because I can't afford retirement in the United States. I'm 59. I haven't gotten my Social Security yet. And even if I got my Social Security, with my Social Security and my military pension, I know I can retire in the U.S., but I would still be in a budget in the U.S. So I just prefer it here because once I get 2 pensions here, I know our life is even going to be improved. It's like we already live pretty comfortable. It's like we're able to travel, we're able to eat out and almost every week, vacations in Boracay. I get another retirement. We could do more. You could do more with the money. Your money just goes a longer way here in the Philippines. And I'm glad JP is headed here because I'm going to show that to JP. And JP's willing for me to film him to that way he can share his experience. And I'm happy that JP's willing to do that. And we'll show you. JP and I will show you that you can have a good life here in Panay Island. When I land, I will bring you out a Starbucks. If it is still there. All right. Unfortunately, JP, the Starbucks, it's funny. Boracay Airport is funny, man. When you land in Boracay Airport, when I pick you up, JP, I'm going to pick you up at the arrival. The arrival is separate from the departure. I've never seen that dynamic at any airport I've been in the Philippines or anywhere. Basically, the arrival at Boracay Airport is in Nabas, Aklan. It's a different town. The arrival's in a different town. The departure is in Katiklan. And unfortunately, the Starbucks is at the departure. So when you land, you won't even see Starbucks. You can't even buy me a coffee at Starbucks, which is okay. Not a big deal, man. We'll find that. We'll hit the Starbucks in Boracay, JP. Bird said hi. All right, Bird. Good morning. Belus, when I make it, we'll bring you some coffee. All right. Thank you, Belus. Do you have the press or drip? I do not have either one, but I've been thinking about getting the press. I just try to limit what gadgets we have. We have a tiny space here, but I know the press is just like a small, make a one cup of coffee. I can get a French press. I think it's called a French press. I'll bring press. I have 2. All right, hey man, that will work. I'll love you. All right, that'll be awesome, Belus. Thank you. Sounds like a great variety there, Gino. There's huge money made in coffees globally. Oh yeah, they're getting more fancier and fancier here, Sula, with coffee. Even in town of Calibo, we're not even a city. And the amount of cafes that we have now, we have Cafe Latte we've always had. Now we have Cafe Tierra Vega, Argon Cafe. We got Iyagi Cafe. What's nice about them, they're not like a franchise. They're not like Starbucks. So they get creative because they're competing against each other. So they have to come up with a new thing, right? So many competition is good. Cheaper prices. Makes it cheaper prices. Good selection. And they got food also, not just when they say cafe here, it's not just coffee, not just milk tea, not just the matcha. It's also they'll have carbonara. And then they're pairing it with a lot of American style food because that's who they're attracting. But Filipinos love everything American anyway. If Filipinos see in the movies what Americans are doing, cafes, Starbucks, that's why Filipinos like to copy everything. Gino, many places where can get fresh raw juice. Here in the city, no problem. You can get raw juice in the city. But here in the province, man, you got to make your own. It's like most of the juice here, I see even at 7-Eleven, most of it are juice drink, and I don't trust it because juice drink, sometimes they'll add sugar. But it's so easy here, Daniel, to just go to on the road, on the side of the road, on the main highway. They got all these roadside stands, fruit stands. It's so easy to I want watermelon, I want cantaloupe, I want oranges, I want dalandan. So many. You can just get a bag of fruits and then just juice it yourself at home. Probably more healthier that way anyway. You know what's in it. You can see like the drip coming out of the fruit, you know. That's how I would do it. Sula, Belus, nice. Fortune, good AM, Brian, Bert, said hi again. Drizzling in Makati. All right, Fortune. How long have you lived in the Philippines? I have lived in the Philippines now for 14 years. 14 years. Since 2011. And I haven't been back to the US. No plans of going back to the US. If I go back to the US, maybe for a visit for Dazzle so she can see America. But it's not like one of our high priority. It's not. Because it's so... the process of even getting Dazzle like a tourist visa is such a lengthy process, and it costs money. It costs money. It's like the application costs money, us flying to Manila for the interview at the embassy in Manila, and a lot of times the tourist visa, you're not even guaranteed that you will get the tourist visa. So for me, why even bother? You know, it's like there's so many other we've been to Singapore, Dazzle. I want to take Dazzle to Korea. I want to take Dazzle to Japan because I lived in Japan. I lived in Korea. I wanted to show her that a lot closer, a lot cheaper. You know, it's like I can fly to Korea for Dazzle and I maybe at the most $300 each round trip. Where if I fly to the US, I'm at least gonna be looking at $1,000 minimum, you know, for a round trip ticket to the US. And more expensive when you get there. Everything in the US is expensive. Ray in the Philippines. Good morning, Fortune, Brian. All right, thank you, Ray. Thank you, Ray. October. JP, if Stevie is needing lures, jigs, let me know. I plan on mailing a box of fishing tackle in early December. All right, I will ask Stevie. But I think he came prepared. I think he came prepared, JP, because he's telling me he's got plenty of jigs and lures that he brought with him, because that's all he's doing. All he's doing is like fishing ever since he got here. I think every day he's gone fishing in Katiklan. Do you trout fish? Trout fish. I've trout fished before when I was in Arizona. Mount Lemon, there was a lake there. We did catch some trout, you know, the rainbow trout. I've caught rainbow trout before. Yes, love me some rainbow trout, right there. You know, they're delicious. Kind of like, I like it because the meat, you know, got more oil on it. It's got like a good taste to it. It's not dry. The fish doesn't get dry. Lovely morning for you, Gino. We miss summer. Yes, it's nice weather. Thank you, Bert. JP, do you keep them or release? JP, do you keep them or release? Oh, the trout. The list. Good morning, Fortune, Ray, and all of the norms. All right, sunshine here. Late. All right. I am shipping some of my fishing lures gear but to myself. All right, Daniel. Trout is delicious. I know. I'm glad that's one of the fish I got to try while I was in the U.S. I mostly keep trout. The area I live, almost all of the fish are hatchery, and there is no natural spawning. Sounds interesting. An inverter AC in the window, so it's more efficient, I guess. Yes, the inverter, and it's not on the window. What we do here in the Philippines, these are like cement. All my walls here that you see, those walls, they're like cement. But here in the Philippines, they'll put a hole on the wall here, anywhere you want. Even downstairs, if we decide to put an AC, they'll just put a hole on the wall and they'll put the AC in there, and then that's just how they do it, and cement around it, you know, make it neat, make it. One of the things here in the Philippines, labor is inexpensive. You know, it's gone higher now. Don't get me wrong. The construction people that do it, repair in your house and all that, the prices have gone up. I remember when we built the house, when this house was being built, we added like a fence, we added a gate. I used to pay each of the workers. This was back in 2016, 9 years ago. I was only paying like 300 pesos per day for the worker. That's only like $5.50 a day. Now it's about 500 now, 500 to 600, depending on the skill. But still, a day worker, construction, mixing cement, masonry, plumbing, you name it, they all around here. It's still only like $9 a day here for a worker. Yes, on inverted, everything here saves you half. All right, hey, I'm liking that. Saving me half on the electricity. You really want to save money. Run your aircon on dry. I'm not sure when do ACs have dry. Okay, all right. But I'm just happy that it's more efficient. The inverter type air conditioning. That's how they advertise. It's a little bit more than regular air condition, but in the long run, your savings with the electricity will compensate for it. When I was in Germany, I actually caught a huge rainbow by hand. Wow, by hand! Wow, that's got to be difficult. That's got to be difficult. I had to release it due to local laws. Man, that would be, because I know they're slippery. I remember the rainbow trout's a slippery fish. We would catch salmon. Oh man, salmon. They do have salmon here. They have their version. It's not the same salmon in the US because I've eaten it. I've eaten salmon here, but they do have a variety of salmon that you can eat at restaurants here. JP, the only fish I have caught by hand has been crawfish. All right, crawfish. I know crawfish. My time in Louisiana, they used to crawfish boil. They had these big bats of like, they'll boil the crawfish. They have that spicy seasoning in there. They'll even throw like corn on the cob in there, potatoes in there, and then you just like peeling. You suck the head. Suck the head of the crawfish, and just eat it with your hands. I remember doing that. That was fun. That was fun in Louisiana. Maybe the hatchery is good to monitor the quality of the fish. Nice catch though. It's sad and sick that some schools and classroom teachers had children pledged to the rainbow. Oh, all right. That was before my time. That stuff happened, I've left the U.S. already. I left in 2011, and a lot of that stuff it wasn't going on. What's going on now? Good morning, Gino. Hey, there he is, the thriving expat. I mentioned you earlier, Michael W. How an example of expats, Americans that come here that have found a good life here. Also, like the main thing I know, I haven't even asked you, but I'm sure charm, your spouse had a lot to do with your happiness, that you're thriving in the Philippines because you found the right Filipina. Unfortunately, not me. Sorry. Cool to watch dogs and cats catch fish. That's funny. David Jessup starts traveling on the 19th. Oh, all right. I was wondering who David. All right. Hopefully he's safe travels to David Jessup. 19th. Oh, what's today, man? That's not far. The 19th, 17th today. So that's not far at all, man. Excited for him. It's always exciting when somebody's like headed to the Philippines. I know JP's excited. I'm excited for him. I can't wait to pick up JP in the airport. Hello everyone from Michael W. in Masbate Island. Yes, everything here, a big balance being an expat. You learn in time. Loopholes for pricing, exchange rate. You build yourself system that works. It takes time. Yeah, of course, Belus is so right about that. Everything in the Philippines takes time to learn, especially if you're a foreigner, you're expat moving here in the Philippines, retiring here. Don't expect like everything to run smooth. That's why I always preach, just be patient, go with the flow, let your Filipino run the show. It's like that, that will save you a lot of headache here. Your Filipina, you got to rely more on your Filipina. Let her handle how to handle the people here, how to handle, like if you got repairs in your house, if you're building anything, you're buying anything, let your Filipina do that, man. You're retired, man. Like me, I let Dazzle take care of everything here. I don't, it's like I'm like between mom, Dazzle, and Leanna. They do everything around here. I'm just like here, you know. So I do live streams. I do live streams and I do YouTube videos. I let them do, you know. They know how the system here works. You know, I have a good understanding of it, but I just know that Dazzle just, you know, Dazzle's a local here. She speaks the dialect here, the Aklanon language. She speaks it, so I just know that it's easier for her. She understands even me, I'm Filipino American, but I grew up in the city. I grew up in Manila. Yeah, I left 30 years in the US and I come back. Even me, I struggle with like the Filipino culture here in Aklan. The Filipinos that I meet here, my classmates when I was 4 years in college, you know, the culture, the dynamic, even me, like I said, I've been here 14 years, and sometimes, you know, I still have to ask Dazzle, you know, why did that happen, or why did he acted like that? You know, I still have to ask Dazzle. So learn, make sure you let the Filipina run the show. Less headache for you if you let your Filipina run the show. Good morning, Michael from Ray. Oh, I thought it was the 15th, Ray. All right, no worries. David Boyd, maybe someday. Sula. All right. LB, hey, Ted in Journeys in Bohol. Good morning, Gino and all. Schools in the U.S. was big reason I left the U.S. behind in 2022. Oh, yeah, because you have a daughter. All right. Yeah, I know you have a daughter. Like, see, you know, Ted's another one. You're not the only one that I know, Ted, that they have kids and they decide to raise their kids here in the Philippines because to me it's a better environment to raise kids here, especially if you have a Filipino spouse. You know, she's gonna have Philippine relatives here. Your kids, you know, they're gonna be like American, you know, American Filipino Americans, but you know, they're gonna have relatives here. Your kids are gonna be surrounded by cousins, by aunties, by uncles. It's just you know, it's a thing. You know, they say it's more fun in the Philippines, but it's also like, you know, you have, you know, that traditional where that your kid is not like isolated. You know, there's your kids are gonna, they can be kids. They can just be kids. You know, it's like. I just see like even when talking to people, it's hard to raise kids in the United States with all the stuff going on in the United States now. I mean, you know, you don't have to worry about your kid here in the Philippines getting shot in school. You know, that seems to be a problem, right? You know, it's like there's shootings in grade schools, in high schools. You know, they're in danger. You know, it's like, you know, you don't know if you send your kid to school in the U.S. if they're gonna come home. You know, that happens, unfortunately. You don't see that here. Kids here, when they go to school, like Leanna, I see it with her. She can be a kid. You know, she plays. You know, she's got friends. When in our neighborhood, she plays with the neighborhood kids here. She can ride her bicycle. To me, it's just more normal. You know, I know in the U.S. you got to worry about. You can't really like let your kid just like ride their bike outside, right? You got to keep an eye on your kid in the U.S. because they might get kidnapped. You know, something might happen to them. You know, it's like parents, you know, they got to be more protective. Here, like in our community, it's safe. It's safe in our community. The kids here ride their bikes at sunset here. I don't have to worry. If Leanna said, Kuya, I'm going to ride my bike. All right, go ahead. You know, she's playing with the kids in the neighborhood. To me, that was my childhood. You know, it's like I would, you know, and I'm not worried, you know, even though Leanna, you know, she's female, you know, she's a girl, but I don't worry because my neighbors watch out for her. She knows our neighbors. You know, people here, we're like a community. It's like, oh, you know, if I'm walking later at sunset, oh, I saw Leanna. She was biking with like the other kids. You know, to me, that's just a normal dynamic that happens here in the Philippines. Unfortunately, you don't see that dynamic anymore in the U.S. You know, in the U.S., a lot of kids they just stay home, play video games, or you might be able to set up a play date at the mall, at the, you know, somewhere at a playground. You know, you gotta schedule stuff. You know, here it's just like, yeah, go outside. Just make sure before it gets dark, just make sure you're home. You know, that's the dynamic I grew up. I grew up like that. So and that still happens here for kids. Good morning to all my friends from Michael White in Masbate. Good morning. Good morning. TE and Ray from Daniel. JP, speaking of motorbikes, did Dazzle get a chance to look? The minute you mention it, I gotta let her look at the email. I know you sent me that email. I'll have to I noticed you had pictures there. I was trying to figure out what motorbikes there were, but I'll show it to her when she gets up. For the Pogi points, for the Pogi points that JP is talking about. We were talking about this on a previous live stream. There are just certain motorbikes here that if that's the motorbike as an expat, that's the motorbike you have. You just get more attention. You know, the Honda ADV 160, I think, that seems to be one of the price. The NMAX, the Yamaha NMAX, common for expat with all the gear, all the gadgets attached to it, the box, the saddlebags, the things, they just do a lot with those motorbikes here. You get Pogi points. Pogi is handsome, what Pogi means. Because at one time, JP was interested at the Barako 175. And Dazzle just told JP that the Barako doesn't get you many Pogi points, the handsome points, because the Barako here, it's a good bike. It's a strong bike, 175 Barako, but it's like the bike they use for tricycle, for public transportation. So, I mean, it's a nice looking bike, but it's not eye catching. And then you don't see many expats with Filipina girlfriends or, that has like the Barako. You don't see, it's mostly the Honda or the Yamaha is what you see here, that they got girlfriends in the back. Girlfriends in the back. You might get branded, JP. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but you might get branded Cheap Charlie. You might get branded Cheap Charlie if you're riding on the Barako. Which might not be bad. Maybe you want that image that you're a Cheap Charlie. Maybe you don't want you don't want to be like the Flash, the Flash, or like Big Spender. Maybe you don't want that Flash. Ray in the Philippines. Good morning, Colonel. Good morning, Colonel, from Ray, LV. Hi, Sergeant and Mike. Hi, Dazzle from Lenora. All right, hey, Mike. At least you post on live streams morning. Mike. All right, Mike. Ray and Doug. Good morning, guys, from LV. I hate cancer. Oh, yeah, we hate cancer, man. Cancer's horrible. It's like the minute you hear the word cancer or biopsy, man, it's like terrible, terrible. Good morning, LV. All right, Ray. Sula, driving, hello. My other channel is Camping Michael White. All right, camping. All right. I cannot use any channel for 14 days more, at least that long. Restricted due to my son bringing his broken. Oh, okay. All right. To me, asked me to buy him a new one. Oh, okay. All right. Toy. Yes. I truly believe I got reported. The entire was so innocent. I know, man. That's why, I'm always careful with things like that, Michael, because maybe that's people tell me I'm always careful what I say. I am, because why would I want to get reported? Why would I want to offend anybody? I'm politically correct. I was like in the military for 20 years in the Air Force, and that's how we were taught. We were always taught to be politically correct to speak, so I've learned that. I've always been like that. I do not want to offend anybody. Was shame. It's a strict rule. I wonder if the appeal is driving. I can post videos, shorts, cannot go live for now. Oh, all right. Belus, all live shows are my morning time. Coffee, live. Yeah, that's with me too. I mean, I'll watch other, I tried, like if I'm not busy, if not doing anything, I popped up on a lot of live stream of my friends. Tim Arnett. Hello, Gino. Hope you have a great day. Oh, we're going to have a great day today. I mean, it's just like so bright and sunny outside. It's going to be an awesome day. We're going to go to Calibo, do something once Dazzle gets up. I appeal, Sula. It is a rule. Don't display any type of gun. All right. Wow. HD, it's good to learn the local language you're traveling to. When I traveled to Iceland, I spoke some Icelandic. I traveled to Japan. Oh yeah, that's always good if you can speak. Here in the Philippines, it's like it would help. I mean, Kuya Kurt, it's awesome that he speaks Tagalog because that would help you with the locals. But now everybody, maybe the time, maybe the effort that it takes to learn a local language. And here, there's so many languages there. And I've been here many years, and I struggle with Aklanon because the spelling, the pronunciation, it's like, I just speak Tagalog to everyone. Every Aklanon that I met, every person in Aklan province that I've met here speaks Tagalog anyway. So to me, if you're gonna learn language here in the Philippines, just learn Tagalog. Because you can take it anywhere in the Philippines and people would speak it. If you try to learn like the Aklan dialect here, there's only like 500,000 Aklan on the province. When you leave the province, it's hard to meet a Aklan person outside of Aklan province. So if you're gonna learn a local language, I would recommend learning Tagalog. That way, Tagalog is spoken in the whole country. I have not yet met a Filipino that doesn't speak Tagalog. Thriving. There are some unkind people online. Oh, hey, amen. That's like unkind. That's putting it lightly. That's what I mean. For us that do YouTube, you gotta have a thick skin in YouTube. It's like. I think that's my lelong. I think that's my guy. That's my repair guy. Oh, basura, that's the trash. Not yet. Lelong's not here. My repair guy is not here to install the new AC. He's not here yet. Because here, they don't really have a time. Everything's in Filipino time here. It's like Lelong told me I'll be there Monday morning. That could be 7 in the morning. That could be 11:30 a.m. before noon. It's like that's how Filipino, and it's fine with me because anytime he shows up, I'm here. So it's not a big deal. So you have to go through that. Yeah, sorry you had to go through that, Michael. That's unfortunate. I'll have to stop flexing my little. I know, Ray. Don't be flexing them guns, man. You might get banned. You got too much muscles there. You got too much muscles there, man. Ray, yeah. Thriving. Good morning, Gino. Fortune. All right. Sula. It's kind of hard to stop a little running with a toy, right? Yeah. You that's random. You don't expect that. You don't expect. Please give a thumbs up. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael. Yes, I meant to talk about that in my live stream. When we were kids, everyone played cow. Yeah, it's like, man, you should see some of the games we used to play, man, right here in the Philippines. When I was here growing up in the 70s, we always played. They always had like construction here, like the hollow blocks, the cement hollow blocks. They would stack it on the side of the road and sand. That's how they built homes here. And when we were kids, man, we would make our own forts. Of course, when the construction people weren't there, like on the weekends when they're not there, we would build our forts with the hollow blocks. We would on the sand. We would slide down the sand. I'm sure they were mad when they see it. Or we would even we would cook we would make a fire, and then we would cook cans of pork and beans. So open the pork and beans, and we're acting like we're camping or like we're military people. It's like, but we were always outside. And then I would go home and my mom would give me a shower with the garden hose. Because I'll be so dirty, sweaty. I'm not allowed to go inside the house, so I had to stand in the yard, and my mom would hose me down with the garden hose, and I would have to put soap and everything, and then she'll garden hose me. You're a bad parent if you get a little boy. Yeah. Very sad in the USA. Yeah. Yeah, there's stuff, hopefully, America gets its act together, hopefully, but, it's not, for me, that's why, I'm not even excited to visit America. It's sad to say that because I'm a patriot, man. I love America. It's giving me the life that I have. I'm so grateful for my life in the U.S. I would not be retired here and have the life that I have if not for the United States military. if, like I said, if China ever does something, if America needs me to help defend it, I will be back. I'll be back working at the command post again, with my little laptop. It's like I'll do whatever it takes. I think I can still remember how to deploy people, and my military skills, I'm sure will just instantly go back. But from what I see, it's just unfortunate. What I see now, it's like the division, just like so many angry people. It's like I don't see that kind of like angriness. There's just some, you just see so much anger in people, and that's why a lot are leaving. And sometimes, unfortunately, we get expats here that bring that kind of anger that it takes them a while to like decompress. We see them here. Like I immediately see it when I meet people, and I'm a good observant of people. I'm an extrovert. I talk. I'm friendly, but also like a lot of times I just sit. If I'm in a group of expats, you can kind of always see the one that gets triggered easy. That's got anger issues. You'll notice it. You notice it when you're like at parties here, or when you're at get-togethers here. Those are the people I try to avoid. Those are the people I try to avoid. Yes, Sula. He was crying. Oh, that's sad. That's sad, Michael. No, it's because of the exchange rate. I mean, the exchange rate can hurt, but it can't be all about money. It's like, for me, I just, I'm not materialistic. I don't pay attention to the exchange rate. It's like I have enough money coming in every month. We live comfortable on my military pension. So money is not a big part of my retirement in the Philippines. I just like being here. I like being here. I like the people. The people has a lot to do with it. People smile. When I go to the mall, to the grocery, anywhere I go, people smile. People say hello. You can talk to people. When I'm waiting in line at the ATM, I can talk to people. Hey, how was your day going? People talk. People talk. You don't get that, from what I'm finding from people telling me, people are standoffish now in the U.S., especially, if you're like, if a different political party, forget it. The anger that will that brings out from people, just because you don't follow the same candidate, or you have two different political factions, so you got to hate the other person. To me, that's crazy. That's crazy. Good AM, Ted, Michael W. I'm only here because wife, she did not want to come to the U.S. Oh man, it's like it's not the same anymore, right? Belus, it's not this. Most of the people that want to go to the United States from the Philippines are the ones that are still workers. The ones that work, of course, they'll jump at the opportunity, not just the U.S., but anywhere around the world to work. But when you're at the retirement age already and you got pension, they're really enough for Belus, your wife, you're retired, Belus, you have enough money to retire. There's really no incentive for her to want to go to the U.S., because she's got a good life here in the Philippines. Same thing with me and Dazzle. It's like there's really not a lot of incentive for Dazzle to move to the U.S., for us to move there, to live there, because for one, we're both Filipinos. We got the age gap going, the height thing going. It's like we would stick out in the United States, and it's not just a friendly environment. It's like even though I'm an American, I'm always gonna be viewed a Filipino. It's like for me, it's like if I go to the U.S., it doesn't matter if I was born in the U.S. I got friends, that were born in the U.S., but they look like me. They look Filipino. People will still view you as like more Filipino than American. Here I don't have to worry about that. I'm Filipino here. It's like, and even if you're an expat here, people really don't. It's not a big thing. It's not like in the U.S. people get into that. The different race, the different. You're from this country. You're from the Middle East. You're from. To me, it's just. before I thought that was a plus. I thought being a melting pot of a variety of people, but now from what I'm seeing, I don't think that's a benefit. That it's a melting pot. I don't think it's a benefit. People are like, there's so many factions now against each other. The unity of Americans, I just don't see anymore. In pricing, of course, never dated, met her in 2018, kayak race. I remember the kayak race that you were telling me, Belus. That's so awesome how you met your wife, man. Fortune and Ray, LV. Good morning, Fortune. Thriving. Hi, Fortune. Are you at home already today? No. I think Fortune, he's working for the office all week, as I mentioned earlier, Michael. No work from home for Fortune this week. He was upset because older boys broke it. Yeah. When you get a replacement, for sure. I'm sure Michael will get a replacement toy. Fortune, are you saying foreigners want to move to the Philippines for Filipinas? And Ray, Filipinas, and Ray. You're just a popular dude, Ray. You're just a popular dude. JP, good morning, Anjali. Hey, Anjali. JP says good morning. Good morning. She's just relaxing. She's had her coffee already. She's had she had some of these toast bread. They also bought this toast bread. It goes good with coffee because it's got butter in it. It's crunchy, kind of like, I think, like bizcocho, right? This is kind of like bizcocho. It's got sugar in it. So that's what Mom had. Me, I had a banana bread. We didn't want to at first because maybe our kids don't visit, but our sons married Filipina and now they are visiting and we aren't there yet. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, it's not like the thing is, if you move to the Philippines, it's not like you got your U.S. passport. It's not like you can go to the U.S. and then if you got family in, like for me, I don't miss my family in the U.S. because they come here. They come to Boracay, they visit here, and I have the time to show them around. My sister's gonna be here February, so I have the time. It's like my sister's 69, I'm 59, so now we're kind of just enjoying as many years we got left. She's gonna spend more months here this coming year, so I'm able to take her everywhere. It's like wherever, if she wants to go to Iloilo, she wants to go to Rojas, I'm able to do that. If I go and visit my sister in Houston, Texas, just to get around Houston, Texas, it's like traffic, people just don't have time. Even my relatives in the US, if I see them, most of them are working. It's like it's hard for them to get away from work. Most people I know in the US only get 2 weeks vacation of the year. And if I go there and stay with them, they're not going to spend their 2-week vacation a year with me. They want to take vacations themselves, and I understand that. But for me, if they come here to the Philippines, man, I can spend a whole month with them. When my sister comes here, I can spend, whatever my sister wants to do, I'm able to take her and do things with her. Correct, Sula. We will get him. Yes, good deal, Michael. So MJ will get a new toy. MJ will get a new toy. I know you were just saying good AM, Fortune. Thriving expat. I will be posting up many videos and shorts. Hope. All right. I'll be looking forward to watch him. Thank you there, Michael. Josh Wilson, Michael W. Did you find out about the 5-year for wife to get Social Security and gain questions? All right, that's Social Security. That is a requirement. If you want your Filipina spouse to get that Social Security, she has to live in the United States for at least 5 years. It don't have to be consecutive, but cumulative. She has to live 5 years in the United States. And what's unfortunate, it's not for all countries. Philippines just being one of the countries. There's actually countries that do not have the 5-year requirement. which I think is kind of like something wrong with that. I don't mind that they come up with rules like that, but make it effective with all the countries, right? Not don't single out, especially the Philippines is one of the allies of the United States. So to me that. But it is what it is. It's a rule, so you have to abide by that. A lot of people, the way to get around that, Josh, is if you're worried about that your spouse can't, doesn't meet that 5-year requirement. When the time you pass away, your wife is entitled to it's called a survival spouse visa to move to the United States. And a lot of times, she would have the money. She would have, like for me, I know Dazzle won't have a problem if once I'm gone, because I have a healthy life insurance that she's the only beneficiary. That would be the only concern I see as far as the immigration, the INS in the US, USCIS, as far as approving a visa for your spouse would be, can she support herself in the United States? But for us, we got this house, we got property in Katiklan. I'm saving money for her, and then my life insurance. She would have enough money, and then she would have a place to go in the United States, because I have relatives in the United States that are willing to take Dazzle in, friends in the United States that are willing to help Dazzle meet that 5-year requirement for Social Security, so she can, once she's 60 years old or 60 or 62, once she gets to Social Security, Dazzle's only 30, so 32 years from now, she would be eligible for my Social Security. But there's ways, Josh. If you want to message me direct, I can, because I've researched that before. I actually made a video of it before. I got to find it, though. I got to find that video. And if not, I'll make another video. I'll make an updated video. Guam. All right. I watched the Colonel yesterday along the breakwaters of Gimbal, Iloilo. Wow. I missed that one. Man, I wish I saw that. I wish I saw that, Colonel. It is 5 years residency in the U.S. for... Yep, exactly. Thank you there, Michael. Whoa. 14 days will go quickly. Thank you, Fortune Belus. Wyoming, home. But I will die here most likely and return full-time to Wyoming in a box. All right. Many more years, brother Belus. You got many more years. Me and you, we got many more years here in the Philippines, brother. Reason was my 8-year-old daughter had to get her out of the U.S. DEI pushed in schools, and they were going to force vaccine on the kids. I got out just in time. Hey, man, you're not alone, man. You're not alone, Ted. I got friends now in Iloilo City. They brought their kids away from the U.S. and brought them to Iloilo City. Several of my friends there now. Their kids are getting educated in Iloilo City. Young kids too, 4 years old, 7 years old, and it's not just like you're thinking like older kids, for college, but no, you're seeing more and more of that. Yes, Doug, one day almost gone. Also giving me more time to get things done. Today is garden. Putting onions. All right. Mom's got a lot of plants. You got a lot of plants out there, Mom. You're like growing. We're becoming all these vegetable plants outside here from Mom. Sula. Yes, the Filipinas here in Ireland, married to Irishmen, are very good women. Very respectful and very good humor. We all get along really well in our area. All right, good to hear. You're experiencing what we call withdrawals. Withdrawals, my live stream withdrawal symptoms. Onions are getting pricey again here. 260 per kilogram. Ooh, wow. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. To me, that's the way I look at everything in life. To me, everything happens for a reason. If there's something that happens to me, that's just how I view it. I just go with the flow. It's like I try. I do my best not to worry or stress about anything. I'm just happy each day of waking up. It's like waking up healthy, waking up without the cancer. To me, everything now is just a bonus. Vloggers, rock and jazz. I think I've seen them. I think, are they from Rojas? Yeah, they're from Rojas. I think I saw show their monthly expense there in Rojas. I believe it. I believe it. 1,200. That's a good budget here for two people. Because rent is usually around $200. That's usually the rent. So if you got $1,000, that's almost 59,000 pesos for two people for 1 month. If you can't live on 59,000 pesos a month, you're spoiled. You're spoiled. If you can't live on that, for two people. I know many people will say, "Oh, I can't live more. I need 3,000. I need 4,000," because you're living that lifestyle in a developed country. But if you're adjusted to the way of living here in the Philippines, eating Filipino food, eating Filipino vegetables, and not wanting the American style lifestyle or the developed country lifestyle, 1,200 is plenty of money here. That's our budget every month for four people, so, and it's not like we're starving, it's like we're buying the food that we like here. John Vasquez, hi, all right. I will check it out. When I move there. Colonel, I was hooked on Panay after one visit to Rojas City, followed by several more. Yeah, like I've mentioned before, Colonel, Aklan Province, Panay Island in the whole, it's a gem. It's a gem here in the Philippines. I think more and more people are finding that out. More and more people. I mean, I'm sure the vloggers here, Mike, That Philippines Live, James and Karen, myself. There's a few, the Colonel Chronicles in Iloilo City. There's a few of us that we know. They see our lifestyle here, and they can see that it's an easy going lifestyle. It's ideal for retirement. It's not pressure. You're not stressed. The highlight of the days here are like fishing, going to the beach, eating out in restaurants, eating out in cafes, going to Boracay Island. I mean, come on, it's like, to me, that's too easy. That's too easy. Belus, I do have a much higher budget, but support, I think, like 5 to 12. Yes. Depends the month. Harvest, I employ many. 5 for the farms. Thriving. Hi, John. Sula, I live in 900 per month mortgage, car bills, food, and 4 pets, kids. Oh, that's pretty good. 900 per month. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yes, blessing. I sleep better already at night. Did not wake up talking to people in the middle of the night. See, maybe it's a blessing in disguise, Michael. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. JP, hello, Jambi. Fortune, just temporary, Gino, until SMC finishes the bigger terminal, San Miguel Corporation, where both departure and arrival will be. Yes, they are building. San Miguel Corporation is building a new terminal, departure and arrival in Boracay Airport. And I'm sure it's going to be nice. I mean, right now, the situation in that terminal is small, it's crowded, and it's separate departure, arrival. So once they build the new terminal, it should be a lot better. It's how many years? I have faith in them to get the project done, Fortune, because it's San Miguel. If it's a government project, I wouldn't get my hopes up that it gets done fast. But San Miguel Corporation, from what I've seen, their work here gets done pretty quick because, they're a private firm. They're in it for the money. They're in it to make money. So, James and Karen. All right. Good morning, James and Karen. Probably your last day in Boracay, headed back, all right? And you got beautiful weather in Boracay, man. You guys got lucky. You know, it's like you did not see rain, man. It's like all sunshine in Boracay Island. I love those days in Boracay when it's like sunshiny days, breezy. I saw you on Bulabog Beach with the kite surfer. You were live streaming with the Starlink Mini. Good AM, James and Queen Neneput. Queen Neneput. I saw that too, the Neneput. I saw that Karen was doing her own live streams on the Neneput. JP, hello, James and Karen. Good morning, James and Karen, from Ray, from JP, from John Vasquez. Meatloaf, of all things here in the Valley, they love it. Oh yeah, the reason they love meatloaf, Belus, we have a dish in the Philippines that's similar to meatloaf. What is that called? Embutido. Embutido. If you eat an embutido, usually it's like a roll, like a long roll. But if you eat an embutido reminds me so much about meatloaf. So if you make a big pan of meatloaf, that's a hit. That's a hit here in the Philippines. A big pan of meatloaf and banana ketchup, man, Filipinos will eat that up. Nice, Belus. The real cowboy, who's with me? All right, the real. Hello, hi. $100. All right. Hello, James and Karen. Sula says, hello from Neil Christensen. All right, Neil. All right. Ray in the Philippines. Good morning, Niels. Sula. It's always a great time in the morning seeing all our... I know, right? You know, for me, it's a good start to my day. I enjoy these live streams because I see you all. You know, it's like we're friends here. You know, and I know we're online, but someday I know you guys will make it here to Aklan Province, to Boracay, to Panay Island, and we get to meet. I'm meeting more and more people in person from our channel. Colonel, I know, I'm sure I'm gonna see the Colonel here. Hopefully Thanksgiving. Hopefully Thanksgiving Day. Sula, Colonel for sure. Try. Hello, James and Karen from Michael White. Maayong buntag, people from Ruben. There you go, Ruben. Maayong buntag, Ruben. Ruben is in Calibo. He's in Calibo. Been here now 11 months. He's made Calibo his home base. His home base here in the Philippines. Oh, Ruben, I haven't forgotten. Tomorrow, right? The breakfast tomorrow. I haven't forgotten that, Ruben. Over at the Argon Cafe. I'm supposed to go to breakfast with Ruben tomorrow morning with the OGs of Calibo. Ruben's got all these OGs, like the Manongs of Calibo, retired people in Calibo that Ruben is friends with. So I'll eat breakfast with them tomorrow. I might even do the live stream there. The Wi-Fi is good there at the Argon Cafe. I might even do but I think Ruben said 9, so my live stream should be over by then. I'll try to do a quick live stream tomorrow before I go to breakfast with Ruben and the Manongs, the OGs of Calibo. Josh Wilson, I wouldn't have thought twice in the spur of the moment about my kid bringing a toy. Yeah. Far East Rider. Long time, 57 days. All right, 57 days, and he'll be in Calibo. That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to see you, brother. Can't wait to hang out. I'm gonna do sad with my good friend Far East Rider when he gets here in Calibo. Josh, agreed, Sula. I did not think anything about it either. Yeah, you wouldn't, right? It's a toy. You wouldn't think about that either. Filipino time needs to be its own topic someday. All right, I'll bring it up. Maybe next live stream, I'll bring up Filipino time. I think one of those unkind people on YouTube gave me... JB, they see, that's funny. Speaking of muscles, you still hitting the gym? No, actually, we switched over. We're not doing Royal Suites. We're going to the White Noise. White Noise is our new gym in Old Buswang, a new gym that opened here. But we might go back to the Royal Suites because we like it. We like Royal Suites, and it's cheaper. It's cheaper. Royal Suites is only like 1,000 pesos a month, and White Noise is like 1,500. And we notice that more and more people are going to White Noise now. So we might have to switch back to a Royal Suites because of the crowd. I like hitting the gym when there's not a lot of people. I need a vacuum. Gaisano Capital has various. Yeah, I saw that, Ruben. I saw the Capital. They were on display right outside the door, wet or vac models, 50% off. I saw that. I got a haircut the other day. At the old Gaisano, and I saw that they had those dry and wet vacuum cleaners for half off. Thank you though, Ruben, for sharing that. Sula, JP, haha. Oh my gosh. Where do they come out? Where did they come out? Where did they come out? I think not responding works best. So yeah, that's what I do now. It's like I don't even read it. If the troll is like writing something, I don't even read it. It's like, and then they get tired, of course. I'm sure they get tired of typing, and you're just ignoring them. That's how I look at it now. BB gun wars, tossing lawn darts over the house, rolling down the hill. Inside, yeah, that's like Sula, Ruben. I was thinking of getting the same. Wonder, do wash the floor, vacuum up the rest. JP, did we grow up together? David said, yeah, that was the fun. That was the fun things. The fun things we used to do. US is a great place, just have to ignore the noise. Yes, I mean, like I always said, if you can afford retirement in the US, why would you go anywhere else? All the conveniences, everything's better, like infrastructure, medicine, hospital, everything's better in the cars, everything. Everything's modern, efficient, everything online works. You got new gadgets coming out all the time. If you can afford to retire in the U.S., no reason to leave the U.S. For me, I just can't afford to retire in the U.S. With my military pension at 45 years old, 14 years ago, I would still be working right now. In the whole 40, I would have been working till at least 62, still working. And I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to retire early. I wanted freedom. I want that was my main thing. To me, I was balancing it between what's more important to me, my freedom or money. And I've never been, money's never been a big issue with me. It's like, as long as I'm eating, I got a roof over my head, I don't need all the fancy stuff. It's like, I enjoy having my freedom. GP, I will always love America. I grew up, but I'm very open to falling in love with the Philippines that welcomes me in retirement. Oh yeah, I can already tell, GP, you're gonna love it here. You're gonna love the Philippines, and the Philippines to me works for people like me, like you, JP. You're looking for like a quieter place. You're looking for friendlier people. You're looking for peace and quiet. Just go fishing all the time. That's what that's what he's experiencing now. He's just going fishing all the time. And people that leave you alone. And people that leave you alone and don't hear all the noise, all the noise. Making homemade ramps out of some flimsy plywood. Oh yeah, I know, I remember. For me, man, I'm a skateboarder. Ray. So that was my thing growing up. I was always on my skateboard. You describe Ireland when you talk about kids in the streets until 11 p.m. at night playing, and there's a joke about Irish time, but someone say, I'll be there Monday. It could be Thursday. So Ray, we had to use our imagination. Telly was boring and no devices. Great times, yep. But see, you still see that. Like here in the province, like even with Leanna, when I take her to school, I still see kids playing. Like here in the province, like the kids here, like at age 12 and under, not a lot of them have cell phones. Not a lot of them have cell phones. It's still not like a cell phone in school, and I don't think even they even allow it. Maybe at recess they'll allow it, but not in the classroom. The teachers don't want to see people on cell phones in the classrooms. They still play. It's like when I pick up Leanna, they're playing in the playground. U.S. is not a melting pot because different cultures don't blend together. They stay separate. I have to agree. It's like, I think, Ray, remember, when you always heard that, right? When I was like in the U.S., the U.S. is a melting pot. But, where I lived in the United States, when I was in Long Beach, like you said, I did, we were the Asians, we hang out together. And for me, it was more for survival. It's like when I went to high school, coming from the Philippines, I was in an all boys Catholic school. And then when I landed in Long Beach and started high school in Long Beach, there were not many Filipinos in my high school. So, for survival, I had to become friends with the Vietnamese and Cambodian because we were kind of grouped as Asians. So, and I looked like them, so, that's who I gravitated with because our school, like you said, the Mexicans hang out together, the Asians hang out together, the white kids hang out together, and the black kids hang out together. And there was not a melting pot even in high school going in Long Beach. And I didn't, that's what they kind of, like preach, like U.S. is a melting pot of people. I found that out more when I joined the military. Now, the military is a melting pot because we didn't have a choice. In the military, you gotta love your brothers, no matter what color, no matter where they came from. We were brothers because you're like defending the country together. You're experiencing the same drill instructor yelling at you, or the same bosses that you're all just workers. You're like the worker bee. So that I saw more in the military, but when I was in high school in the U.S., I didn't see that melting pot, like you said, Ray. Far East, right? If you come to Jacksonville, Norfolk, or anywhere, there is a U.S. Navy, U.S. Navy installation. I've been to Norfolk. I've been to Virginia Beach. I've been to Norfolk. I didn't make it to Jacksonville, though. You will find large Filipino communities, a lot of second, third generation Filipinos born here. Yeah, pretty much the same in California. My generation, like the late 70s, early 80s, we were kind of like the, not the beginning, because there's Filipinos in California for many years, but more and more Filipinos were migrating to the United States in the 80s. My relatives, anyway, most of my relatives, we migrated to America like late 70s, early 80s. Derek, aloha from Hawaii. I arrived late. I was watching, the football game. All right, Chiefs Denver. I haven't watched many football games this year. I think I saw one because I think it was on YouTube or Netflix, and that's why I watched one game. I'm not big in American football anymore. Derek, when Trevin, take care all. Time to plant. All right. Michael W. Time to plant. Do I look Filipino? I think I do, of course, but almost all Filipinos I meet always ask me where I'm from. I often ask Filipinas meet, don't you think King Filipino? No, it's always the answer. Yeah, if I had met you, Ruben, and I've never met you, I wouldn't think you were Filipino. It's like if we met each other, and I'm sure that's the same thing you get from Filipinos, that you were born in the Philippines, but you don't look Filipino. Sula, Tribing, goodbye. Take care. All right. JP, you should love it here. Yeah. Well, I'll have a lot to do with that, Colonel. I'll help JP adjust here when he gets here next month. It's observed Philippines is not free visa to the U.S. Philippines is a massive ally to the U.S., especially with the shipping. Oh, I know, right? To me, even like the 5-year requirement in the to be eligible for, like for Dazzle to be eligible for my Social Security when I pass away, she has to live in the United States for 5 years. But the Philippines being one of the major allies of the United States forever, but there's countries on the list that will surprise you that they don't have that there's no requirement for them to live in the United States for 5 years. Hey, buddy, Dean. All right. Hey, Dean, my good friend in Colorado Springs, Southern Cal. Benny. Hi, Gino. 32 years from now, the U.S. may not be the country that people want to go to anymore. I think, like I mentioned earlier, Southern Cal. Benny, for people that want to work, like I know Filipinos will always want to go to the United States. Like the people that work here in the Philippines, the United States is still number one in many Filipinos living in the Philippines, in their hearts. Like the country they would number one place where they want to migrate to. Like I said, for the workers, but for people that are like retirement age already, like if you come here to the Philippines, you're retiring, you're planning on retiring here. Like JP's planning to, this is kind of like his second home now. He's going to retire in the Philippines. If he meets a Filipina here, more likely the Filipinas not want to go to the United States because they're already retired here. It's like whatever partner that JP meets here, they're going to want to live here. They're retired. Why would you want to go back to the U.S. and struggle financially where you're here? You can live comfortable. You can live together all the time. You're together, like me and Dazzle. We're together 24/7. We can vacation. We can do anything we want. If we go to the United States now, like many people, like, oh, aren't you taking Dazzle to the United States? We will be working in the United States. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we want to go to the U.S. for us to work? We're here. We're living a good life. That we're not working. We get to share every single day. My response, kumusta ka? Buhay pa. Still alive. David says, still alive. Buhay pa. Good AM, Ruben, JP. I am 43 days. Wow, 43 days. You're getting there, JP. That's close, man. You're getting close. All right, I'm going to try to speed up here. I'm getting close to 2 hours here. I'm going to try to speed up on the comments here. I think I covered pretty much that one topic. I didn't talk about it too much, but about why people are retiring, reasons why retirees move to the Philippines, budget, affordable things, explore travel. A lot of people, unfortunately, people on Social Security in the United States, I'm hearing, they ain't got money to if you're on Social Security, if that's your only pension in the United States, a lot of them, travel is like out of the question, traveling in the U.S. Here on Social Security, if that's the only income you have here, you can travel here. You can travel by bus, you can travel by ferry. Many people do it. I mean, it's like Ruben's an example. He's like, Ruben's been to Davao, to Dumaguete, to Bacolod, to Iloilo, to been to Angeles City, to Nueva Ecija. It's like you can travel here. Very inexpensive to travel here in the Philippines. Warmer climate, of course, as you get older, a lot of people, they don't like snow. It's like maybe when you're younger, you can handle snow, 4 seasons and all that. But a lot of people, when you get older, the warm climate, the beaches, the white sand beaches, the sunny weather we're having like here, very attractive for older people. All right, I think I covered everything on my notes there. Let me try to finish all the comments here. Is $100 plenty enough for average growth for 2 weeks? 2 weeks, it depends on how many people. Like for one person, that's easy. I mean, you're not gonna, $100 is plenty for one person for 2 weeks as grocery. $200, that's 10,000 pesos a month. That's plenty for one person. Did you hear about 2000? I kind of heard it, but I don't pay attention to it until it lands in my bank. It's like right now to me it's all rumor. The minute it hits my bank account, then I'm thank you for the rebate. But for me, I'll believe it when I see it on my bank account. For a single guy, yes, flyboys. Yep. As you know, I struggle on disability. Just concerned on SED medical reviews. They can require to return to US for a review. Oh, okay. All right, Lowell. Yeah. I wonder if you can do the review in Guam, because Guam would be an easier trip. If they require you to do that review of Social Security. I don't know understand how that works as far as disability with Social Security, but that might be an option. Might be something to investigate, because Guam is only like a 4-hour flight from Manila. Maybe that's a easier. I am referring to costs in the struggle. Costs in the struggle. Struggle. Okay. I'm trying to go back. But you will definitely, even on Social Security, you definitely will be more affordable, more things you can do here if you're only, if your main income is Social Security. I just see it with people living here, that have moved here on Social Security than in the United States. I know if your only income is Social Security in the United States, I know that people struggle. I know people struggle here. You can live pretty comfortable here on Social Security. Happy farming, tribing. Good night. Oh, thanks, Gino. All right. Thank you for joining, Sula. All right, JP, take care, Sula. Hi, Kevin Shores. All right. Dean, 6 months a year in the US is enough for me these days. I can trade futures from anywhere, geo arbitrage time, peace of mind, and money. Yeah, and I've mentioned that before, Dean. Like a lot of people, if you can afford it, that's another ideal situation. It's like 6 months in the US, 6 months in the Philippines. When it's time that you don't like cold weather in the US, winter, be a snowbird and be in the Philippines for 6 months and then go back when the weather's better. That's an ideal situation. Unfortunately, not many people can afford that. It's like maintaining 2 households or flying all the time can get expensive. But I do know many people that can afford that. Imagine now in the U.S. an average age for a first-time home buyer is 59 years old. Yeah. My opinion, Flyboy. I think people get hung up on the whole home buyer thing. I know here in the Philippines, when foreigners, expats come here, they make such a big deal about that, buying land, buying home here. But to me, if you're already in retirement age, it's not so important to own land or buy a house anymore. That's just my opinion, right? If you're already 60, or 62, early retirement age, to me, I would just rent. If you can rent like for 10,000 pesos, about $200 here, you can rent a place. To me, that would just be optimum, because then you don't have to worry about expenses that when you buy something, when you buy a house or a condo, whatever, repairs on that, insurance, when you're renting, you just pay rent and you're good, and the rents are so low here. I always tell people, just rent, it's like, don't be so focused on like owning anything. I know in the US, that the struggle there is because they raise the rent on you. They don't have that dynamic here in the Philippines. It's like, I'll give you an example. When I lived in Calibo, 2012 to 2016, 4 years I lived in Calibo in an apartment when I went to school. My rent was 7,000 pesos for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. About $125 was my rent. That same apartment, same building, my friend Larry actually owned that building at one time. He sold it now. The same building, still solid structure like our house, cement, tiles, nice 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Now in 2025 is 8,000 pesos. It increased $18 from 2016, 9 years ago when I moved out. The rent up only increased $18. So you don't have that problem here in the Philippines like you have in America, where they jack your rent like 50% or 40%. They can't do that here in the Philippines because nobody will be able to afford it here. The Filipinos will not be able to afford it. So to me, it just makes more sense just to rent here, especially if you're on Social Security. It's like, why worry about owning anything? Like Ruben's renting a studio apartment in Calibo for 8,000, furnished studio apartment. He's renting for 8,000 pesos. $135 is Ruben's rent. Why would he even buy anything here? You're renting so cheap. It's like, and Ruben's like older than me. It's like, what's gonna happen to that if to me it doesn't make sense. Just rent over here. Don't get hung up on that buying and owning a house here in the Philippines. Frugal retirement is hard to the arms. I have too much time to play with my elastic exercise bands. Can Dazzle receive your SBP, half of your military pension? No, because I did not sign up for SBP. She can't receive my military pension. That's why I made sure I have a high life insurance, and Dazzle's my only beneficiary. She's gonna get all my life insurance. Now, maybe I should not be announcing that, maybe, but Dazzle will be fine. I know she will be fine. I'll make sure. That's why this house will be paid off. I bought her land here. I'm building savings for Dazzle. She got my life insurance. She can go to America if she wants to. She's young enough, and Dazzle, if I'm gone, Dazzle's a catch, right? Dazzle's a catch. She's not gonna have a problem meeting anybody because she's already used to like foreigners and expats. I already told Dazzle, once I'm gone, move on, live your life. If you find another partner, I'm gone. Why would that concern me? Buying a home when you are young can protect you from rent. Yep, that's correct, JP, right? I think that's what works in America in the past, because if you buy a home in your 20s, by the time you're 50, it should be paid off. It makes sense in America. But if you're coming to the Philippines and you're already like 62, or it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to like build or buy or do anything here. Just rent. And when they let 10 million plus lower income people into the country, it put massive pressure on rental prices. Yeah, and I think I've seen something about that, JP. That's why, there's a crisis, right? There's a crisis, like, because rent increases, putting a lot of senior citizens, making them homeless. They can afford the housing in the U.S. My rent was stable and has gone up yeah, I think you saw that, right? You will not see that here, JP. Like in Calibo, I'm telling you, man, my rent from 2012 to 2016 on a 2-bedroom, 1-bath was 7,000 pesos. It's not furnished. It don't have the accoutrements, the luxuries. Like I did not have hot water. It wasn't furnished, so I had to buy a refrigerator. I had to buy AC. But my rent was 7,000 for 4 years, and the same apartment you can rent for 8,000 now. So it increased by $18 in like 9 years. Hi Gino, this is Thelma and Dean. All right, we're friends on Facebook now, Thelma, so that's all right. I'm glad you sent me that friend request. We are on our way back home, watching you in the car. All right, I will tell Dazzle, Thelma. Have a safe trip back to Australia. We'll see you and Dean when you come back here in Auckland Province. I can't wait to meet Dean in person. All right, everyone, I got to the bottom here, 2 hours. So I'm going to end the live stream here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the live stream this morning. I appreciate everybody's time as always. Hope everyone has a good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Everyone, please stay blessed. Stay blessed.